This is the BGG Climbers list for the week ending 5/12/2021. This list is put together every week by Michael Alexander, and I'll include a link in the description to the Geeklist and to the Index Geeklist if you're interested in taking a look at those. One other thing for this week I'd like to add is Hoplomachus Victorum is on Kickstarter for the next, I think, 6 more days from Chip Theory Games. Now, they had a kind of funny goof at the beginning of it, and the campaign's going really well. If you like Chip Theory games like I do, in terms of the quality of components, it's worth taking a look at. It's basically a solo edition of Hoplomachus, but also a reprint and a remastering of their original game. So anyway, if you're interested in that, it just happened to be on the screen here for an ad, so I thought of it. Again, if you like this video, please like and please subscribe, and please take a look at our other videos. Now let's get to the list. There's actually a lot of interesting stuff this week. We'll start off with the sub 10 real quickly. Marvel United is continuing its climb. Its ratings are climbing, and I think this one has a good chance of hitting the top 100. It's a widely available game. It looks like it's getting really solid reviews, and its ratings are staying pretty consistent, especially recently for a medium light game with some really cool miniatures. Number 24 is Red Rising. Again, the ratings have been staying pretty consistent. It did have a couple weeks where it was a little bit higher, and it's dropped back down to its normal average. I don't think this one's going to hit the top 100, but we'll see. And Comet Blood and Sand. So this one, its rating has fallen a little bit, but I fully expect this, assuming enough people rate it, to hit the top 100 just because Comet did, and I think this is just an improved version of that. Mercado de Lisboa. So this one's rating has come down a little bit too. I don't think this one's going to hit the top 100. I just don't see it having the oomph to get there, especially since most of the people that were probably interested in this were more heavy gamers anyway. Micro Macro Crime City at number 21. So this one continues its climb. It got the NPI badge. It's probably being looked at because of the I think it won 2 BGG awards. This looks like a game you'd play with your kids. It's got some more adult crimes. I really wish they would reprint it with some kid-friendly theme, or same mechanics, but maybe a better theme. And I'm sure someone will at some point, especially now that it's won a bunch of awards. Number 20 is Beyond the Sun. So this one, I think, had another review come out that gave it a pretty good ratings. It does seem like the recent ratings here haven't been as strong as the early ones, but I do think this will probably hit the top 100. It's already got 1,700 ratings. It's above 8 still, and I think it's got a good shot. It'll maybe be a while. It is available on Board Game Arena now, though, and it's got some more really good, or I think another good review for it. I don't know if it's been reprinted or not, but I think it's going to do pretty well. Under Falling Skies, again, this one won some BGG awards. You'll probably want to take a look at it, and its rating is continuing to be strong. This might be a solo only game that hits the top 100 at some point. I think it has a good chance. Sleeping Gods, again, on its way to the top 100. It's 8.69, continuing exceedingly strong ratings. This is actually at one of my top games I'd like to try out for this year. I don't own it yet. Maybe I'll be able to pick it up in a trade or find it in stock somewhere in retail. And I think that's it for the exciting games that we've been watching. Yeah, so number 10 is Bristol 1350. So we talked about this one before last week. Its ratings have gone up a little bit, but I still don't see this one hitting the top 100. I thought we'd only see 1 week on here, but I guess it's enough people are rating it where we might even see it for a couple more weeks. So it's number 10, Bristol 1350. Number 9, Maharaja. So this one is a Kickstarter reprint or remake of the original game from Michael Kiesling and Wolfgang Kramer. So this one, I think, it was a Kickstarter. I saw this one when it was Kickstarted a while ago. I guess it's finally in people's hands, and it's also going to come to retail, it looks like. Now, this one did change a few things. I think it made it, let's look at these images. It upgraded the look of it. So here's the game. And redid the artwork, and I think maybe redid some gameplay mechanics in it. But I think it's still got an older classic feel to it. And that's part of the reason why I chose to not back this one and actually pick it up, is because I just think that with I don't know, it's always difficult because board gaming is an expensive hobby and a time consuming hobby, and you really have to I feel like unless you just are retired or only playing board games, you really need to focus on the games you think are going to be the most interesting. So that's the pure reason why I didn't back it. But I do think it'll do pretty well. I guess this person didn't like it, but it's just an older game, I think. And even though it's been updated, the graphics been updated, I think the gameplay improved a little bit. I don't see this one hitting the top 100. Probably, maybe it'll hit the top 250, but I think that might even be a stretch just for such an older style game. So that's number 9, Maharaja. Number 8 is Sonia. So this one was a Kickstarter, and I almost actually backed it. I don't even remember why I decided not to back it at the time. But it's actually getting pretty good ratings for I think a lighter weight Kickstarter. Yeah, it's on the lighter weight side. And I think on top of that, it's even a card game. So this one it's got a few things going for its card game. It's fantasy renaissance and deck and pool management. So you're going to be doing like a kind of a lightweight deck building game, which might make people be more interested in it. Now, one thing is, I think the artwork in the game is really good with the style they went for. Like, I think this looks really good on the cards, and that was the main thing I think I felt going for it when I was looking at getting the game. But then I also realized that for me, I think if I'm going to get a group together, card games aren't more my style. So I just thought probably I wouldn't end up playing it enough to justify it. But it does look like it's doing pretty well. Let's see some comments here. Busy appreciating the game. So it arrived pretty. Very interesting game. Plays smooth in a short amount of time. Has potential to create rewarding complex combos. Yeah, I mean, I think it's getting pretty good ratings. I don't know if a card game has an opportunity to hit the top 100, but we'll see. We'll see if we keep seeing this on the list. Number 8, Sonia. Number 7 is Agropolis. So this is... Oh, yeah, we've seen this before. So this is that standalone Sprawlopolis game that I think is available as a print and play, too. Let's see here. Now, yeah, I think Sprawlopolis is a print and play, and this is a standalone Sprawlopolis game. And, yeah, I mean, we looked at this before. It's really small. Fits in a wallet. I think a lot of people are going to like it from that perspective. I don't see it hitting the top 100 or probably even doing, probably not even hitting the top 250. I think this one will probably die out after a little while. So that's Agropolis, number 7. Number 6 is Hadrian's Wall. So this one we've talked about a couple weeks ago. This is like a roll and write or flip and write style game that's a heavy version of it. And the interesting thing here is I think this is probably the best rated heavy roll and write or flip and write that I've seen. So I'm really interested to see how this one continues to do, because it is, it's racking up really good ratings. I think if it continues at its rate, it has a chance at hitting the top 100, which might be, there's probably another roll and write on there, but maybe Welcome To is on there. And Cartographers might be, but it'll be one of the few roll and writes to actually make the top 100, and probably the heaviest roll and write to hit the top 100 if it does. So let's keep an eye on this. If it's still getting a lot of ratings in a month or so, and we keep seeing on this list, I'm gonna have to say that it might be able to make the top 100. It definitely has a good start. So that's Hadrian's Wall, number 6. Number 5, Whale Riders. So I don't even know if I remember seeing this game before. Let's take a look at it. Ride your whale to buy and sell goods along the ice coast. So this is interesting. Is a Reiner Knizia game. Wow, this is interesting. So this must be his game this year. It is a lightweight game, as I would expect, with the title and the pictures. Since he can design, he can design like medium, heavy to lightweight games, and he has designed a lot of games. I don't know. I mean, I think it's getting a lot of attention because of the designer. I mean, I think it looks good. I think the artwork looks good. Let's see what the gameplay is. So in this game, contracts, hand management, market, and racing. So you're gonna new design with a classic feel. Each player has 2 actions per turn, but what will they accomplish? Yeah, I feel like the 2 actions per turn style is actually really good because you're not just limited to 1. You have the option to do double it up and do 2 actions. A lot of interaction, interesting decisions. So this is going to be your, quick play, maybe family-ish game, 8+. Oh, and yeah, Vincent Dutrait artwork. Actually, I kind of do see the Vincent Dutrait style. This looks like a Lewis and Clark on a whale. So, but yeah, I think this game has a, it's not going to do really well, even though it's a Reiner Knizia game, but just because it's starred and its weight isn't that heavy. I think his best recent game is Quest for El Dorado. I think that was a very unique racing deck building game that I don't know if I think it's fun. I think it's quick, and I think that it's overall a really good design. This one I think is just another family weight game or whatever the latest game of this year is. So definitely not top 100, probably not even top 250, but probably a decent game. Number 5, Whale Riders. Number 4, Garento. So I don't even know if I've seen this game before. Let's take a look at it. So this is achieve balance, harmony, and understanding by manipulating the elements. I don't recognize the designer. Let's take a look at, okay, it's an abstract strategy Kickstarter game. Garento is a type of Japanese pagoda with 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and void. It often houses the relic of Buddha or a saint, and together represent the realm of perfect understanding. So basically, you're going to select elements from the path and moving them onto the mountain, and each element collects a unique pattern, and the elements will collect at each turn will allow you to collect more elements over turns and rounds. And this is best with 3 players, it says. So, okay, I see it's a kind of a small box game with, okay, some I would say upward style tiles with Japanese characters on them. Tabletop simulator, and this looks, I think in person it looks good. I don't know what the statue's for, but okay, I could see, with this abstract game renaissance that was kind of spurred by Azul, I could see people liking this game, but I just think an abstract game isn't going to typically be able to climb the list very high. I mean, even, Azul, I think, was an outlier. I mean, outside of that, I haven't seen any, extremely well-received abstract games. I don't even know of another one in the top 100 offhand. Maybe there is one. So that is number 4, Garento. I don't think we'll see this one in the top 100. Number 3, Titans. So this is a Kickstarter. Actually, I think I looked at it when it was out there. It must be getting delivered, because usually you see about 100 ratings pre-delivery, and then once it gets delivered, it will shoot up in a couple weeks. Because, a lot of people, when they are waiting for that Kickstarter that they really want, it is you're like, oh, I really want to get this game to the table. I want to get this Kickstarter. I want to open it up and see what's inside. And I feel like this is one of those games. This has got really cool minis, which is, I think, what attracted me to it. Yeah. So you're going to lead. Yeah, this is like a dudes on a map. I think we see. Did we see this one? Yeah, I think we saw this one a couple weeks ago. I'd forgotten about it, but I do think that it looks really cool. Like if we look at this picture, it's got some really cool looking Titans, some great minis and in colors. But I think when it comes down to it, and the reason why I didn't back it is it seems like a dudes on the map game. Maybe taking some card play mechanics from some other games and maybe adding some new touches into it. With, I will say, some cool artwork on the cards. I like the style of it. I like the style of artwork in this game. Although, like, let's take a look at this. So this is a cannon, a horse, and a pikeman. It looks like, and a cannon, a horse with wings, and I guess a swordsman with a fire. So I'd prefer these guys. These guys look like they're doing a little bit better with the fire instead of the ice. But and really cool looking minis. Like this guy's a fire sword with some nice wings, and it looks a little Oriental inspired. But clearly this is either in another universe or like some mythical other alternate reality or something like that. It is doing pretty well, but the rating has come down as I expected. I think we'll probably continue to see this drop because it does look like a more generic dudes on a map game. Number 3, Titans. Number 2, Merchants Cove. So we talked about this one last week, and this is actually an interesting case where I think it's probably going to continue to do very well, even though some of the feedback I've seen, it wasn't the game people expected. I think they expected a heavier game with more asymmetricness. And I think what they got is a little bit lighter game that's more fun to play with Merchants Cove. And I think the only downside and the reason why I didn't back this, I mean, this was a huge Kickstarter, was the cardboard, like, constructed components. I've never been a fan of that in board games. I don't like building them and setting them down, and I feel like they always break, and you have to take them apart and put them back together every time you play the game. I just think that I'd rather have minis and have a little bit bigger box. That's just my my personal taste. So we need to wait probably till like 1,000 ratings here to see where it's going to land, but it's got a good start. It actually started out lower, which is kind of surprising, in the kind of Kickstarter pre-ratings. Sometimes these are like in the 8s, and this is actually in the 7s. So it got a lot of like low ratings when it was during its Kickstarter, but once it got delivered, it's been getting some really solid ratings here. So that's number 2, Merchants Cove. Number 1, Chronicles of Dranger, Age of Darkness. So this one is probably a Kickstarter because of its ratings, although it didn't reach 100 like some of the previous ones. Now, these ratings are really high, so I'm interested to see what this game is, because I don't think I was even aware of this before. Yeah, Kickstarter. Okay, so this is a fully cooperative and strategy game of tactical combat and dungeon crawl adventure for 1 to 5 players. Yeah, he can move freely into 3 abilities and spend 2 of his action cubes to trigger his abilities. If passing, yeah, it looks like a kind of standard dungeon crawl. I wonder what this thing is doing differently. So let's see the images. So one thing is, yeah, I mean, the minis look okay. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, unless they're huge minis, they don't look like something super unique or amazing. At least in the pictures. Let's see. This guy looks okay. He looks like a upgraded Hero Quest character. I think he looks kind of like that the Warlock, I think, in Hero Quest. Let's see this. Okay, so you set it on top of the game trays, and it's got like a kind of 3-dimensional battlefield. So I think that's probably something they're going with. It's got all these chips and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not thinking that this looks kind of like another generic dungeon crawl adventure. Takes up a live table space. Oh. So this is okay. Best dungeon. This person says best dungeon crawler since Bloomhaven was released, which is a pretty big acclaim. Yeah, and I think wow, for me, better than Gloomhaven. Wow, so this one is actually doing exceedingly well in terms of its rating. So it seems like people that are fan of dungeon crawlers really like this. Maybe they like the fact you're rolling dice. And I know that at least for me, the Gloomhaven card play can get a little bit tedious at times, and sometimes you just want a dungeon crawler where you chuck the dice and kill something with some amazing dice roll. It is a heavyweight game though, so I think I want to do some more looking into this one, outside of this video, and just see what what people are saying about it. But maybe it has something here. So let's look at this. I guess you have your big character sheet. You have some action cubes. Looks like some abilities that you can maybe upgrade or use. Interactions book. So there's probably some sort of, maybe there's a story that goes with this, or some sort of a thing that happens, and a lot of counters. And it does look like a table hog though, but Gloomhaven's kind of a table hog too. So there you have it. That is the BGG Climbers for the week ending 5/12/2021. Again, if you like this video, please like and please subscribe, and please take a look at our other videos. And the number one game is this Chronicles of Durango, Age of Darkness, for this week. Thank you.